Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Mondays, and this week it is episode 64, and I just want to give you guys fair warning. If you should probably turn the volume down on your video, for I only have but one word to say to you at the beginning of this week, which is Wah! I don't want to do it too much. I didn't want to overdo it. I've only got a little wah at the moment. I got 10 boys. I got 10 boys and a knob. 10 boys and a big knob. That sounds rude, but I guess that is the nature of Orcs. It's silly, it's fun, it's great. Take that. But yeah, just for those of you that don't know, what am I talking about? Why are the Orcs on your screen? Why is this video so confusing and rambling? Well, it's too late to go back now. I'm too far into it. Screw it, we'll do it live. I got some Orcs for Christmas, and I am very excited. I'm very, very excited because Orcs were my original army as a kid. Like way, way back. The first models I had when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Just mad times. I always considered my first proper army to be Imperial Guard, because I went out there and I made the decision and I spent all my birthday money, and got my first guard for second hand from a friend. Well, sort of like a acquaintance, like we knew each other, but we weren't buds, you know. But we were friendly enough. We got the bus together, bus to school. But before that, the first models I ever had, which were like bought for me by my mum and dad, and my brother was getting into it, and were some Space Orcs. They were the old school monopose axe, old school axe in one hand, Mongolian style armor on, weird, what was a bolt pistol at the time, not a slugger, but. Yeah, these weird Orc boys, plastic monopose and second edition, all the monopose grots, they were my original army, and I had 40 boys and 40 grots, and then the rest of my army was a weird concoction of stuff. Like I had some old school feral Orc cyber boar boys. So they were like, instead of riding bikes, feral Orcs rode boars, and there was the sort of crossover models between Warhammer Fantasy, you know, none of this Age of Skugmar, Age of Smegmar stuff, but it was Warhammer Fantasy boar models with metal Orc boys that sat on top of them. They were really cool, and I had a load of them. I wonder if I still got them. They're somewhere, probably in my parents' attic somewhere. But point is that I had a bunch of boar boys, and I had like loads of trucks and war tracks. So you had war trucks and war tracks. I didn't have any war buggies. I was really jealous when my friends had one of the war buggies. But I had war trucks, war tracks. I didn't have a Scorcher. I didn't have a war buggy. And then they didn't have models for battle wagons back then. So I had like a homemade battle wagon, which is the model I still have to this day, which was laughably made out of one of my war trucks with a rhino, just like mashed together. I actually still have the model, and I actually use it as a chaos model now. But if I'll bring it out one day, you'll see it. It's a travesty of a model. But anyway, so that was my old Orc army, just this random collection of stuff. I didn't know what I was doing, but I've always kind of had a nostalgic feeling for Orcs. I think every player at some point in their life collects Orcs in some capacity, even if it's just a small army, they collect them. And so I'm really excited because it's the last. I think this is the last army. It's the last 40k army I'm going to get. I think this is it. You know, I've got all the guard armies for the channel. I've got the secret project which I'm working on. Lost a bit of enthusiasm for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with the secret project, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to unveil too much. We've got all the. You know, I've got a marine army for the channel. I've got my guard army, but I haven't got any Xenos armies. I mean, the missus has got a small Necron force that we occasionally play with, but not really much. So, you know, with Johnny, the Scholar Progenium channel, my brother's channel, he has, Blood Angels through and through, and he's got Knights, which he loves. He loves Knights, and he loves his Blood Angels, and he has his Death Watch as well. But he has his sort of old, battered Tau army, which was like, for a long time, the only Xenos army we saw on the channel. But he's got his Drakari now, so. But the point is between us, we have, if we don't really count the Tau, because, well, we do count the Tau, but they're battered. But between us, Johnny's the only one with any Xenos armies, and it is a bit boring doing Imperium versus Imperium every time, because it is a different dynamic when you do Imperium versus Imperium to when you do Imperium versus Xenos. There is a or Imperium versus Chaos. There is a different dynamic. And so I think it's cool he's got Dark Elder now. So that's a proper fleshed out thing. I mean, he's going to do a restoration on his Tau at some point, which is great. And then I'll have Orcs, which is great. And I love Orcs. I think everyone loves Orcs. They're just great. And then maybe the Necrons will start showing up a bit more on the channel, which I think would be really cool. Having a few 500 point, 1000 point bat reps between the Necrons and some various forces. So we should get some more Xenos representation on the channel. So we can have, you know, Imperial Guard versus Dark Elder, or Black Templars versus Dark Elder, or Dark Elder versus Krieg, or whatever, or that, and then we can have Tau versus Black Templars, you know, and now we've got Orcs versus Blood Angels, or Orcs versus Dark Elder. It just opens up a load of possibilities. So really, really excited, not only for my own personal nostalgia trip. This is the first mob of what I would call the new, these sculpts are pretty new to me, the new Orc Boy models. And it's gonna be great. I don't know how big this army is gonna get. It may stay at 500 points. I've got about 500 points already because I've got a start collecting set and a war boss and an extra mob of boys. So I've got about 500 points bang on, I think, now, which is great. It may stay at that. It may stay at a little 500 point combat patrol. It may grow up to 1,000 points. It may go up to 2,000 points. I don't know. What I'm going to do with this army is I'm going to do it Orky style. It's going to be wacky. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be pure fun through and through. I'm probably never going to do an Orc Tactics video on this channel. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just build the models and paint the models true Orky style. Just the models that I love. I know Killer Cans are a big pile of dog shit. I'm probably going to get quite a few of them. Because Killer Cans, when I used to play Orcs, you know, there was no such thing as a Death Dread. It was Killer Cans. They were the equivalent of a Dreadnought. And now you've got all these differences between like Killer Cans and Mega Dreadnought, or you've got like Mecha Dreads, and then you've got Death Dreads, and you've got Morkanauts, which are fantastic. I'm not a big fan of the Morkanaut model. I think it looks a bit like it's too low to the ground, but I heard they're very good. But the point is, I'm just going to collect what I like. Now, the theme I have for the army, which is kind of reflected in the colour schemes, I'm going for maybe a Goths / Evil Sons vibe for the army, because I used to have it. That's what the old army used to be. It used to be a mixture of speed freaks and a big mob of foot sloggers. So I'll probably have something similar with the new army. My idea, and I don't know how much traction I'm going to get this idea, but my idea was to actually maybe go down this funny, wacky route of like World War II Germans, but with Orcs. So instead of being Blitzkrieg, it would be like Blitzwar, or lightning warfare tactics, you know, Blitzwar. And to have in every squad to have like shooter boy, you know, a mixture of shooter boys and chopper boys to sort of represent like, you know, half of a squad being like an assault section, half squad being like a fire support section, so they can break down to fire teams. Obviously, they can't do that in real life. But then to maybe also put a big shooter in every squad, and that's like, even though they're not good, it's 5 points, and it represents like the MG42 in each German squad, or the MG34 in each German squad. So the Orcs will have a machine gun in each squad. I just thought it was funny. You know, obviously got to have a knob in every squad. That knob has to have a claw in every squad. If you're not running Orcs with the power claw knob, why are you even here? Like, that's classic. It's quintessential. It's awesome. You know, so I'm definitely going to be doing that. You know, and yeah, you can put a chopper on your knob and a power claw, and that is slightly better because you get more. You know, what would you rather have? 1 strength 4 attack hitting on 5s, or 1 strength 5 attack hitting on 3s? Yeah, I could do that, but it looks. And I might do that with some of them. But, you know, my first squad of knobs, my first squad of boys is definitely going to be Claw and Slugger with a big scope on it, because it looks dumb, but it's cool. But continuing like the German theme, I was thinking of having, you know, if we're going with Blitzwar, either naming a couple of characters like this, or having them as like brain boys that the Orcs look up to, as, instead of Erwin Rommel, it'd be Erwin Rommelk. You know, he was a tank commander. Or a bit more obscure, you had Heinz Guderian, who was like the guy who wrote the book Achtung Panzer on like tank warfare. And I was thinking of instead of Heinz Guderian, you'd have Eins Gork Dorian or Gork Darian, you know, Eins Gork Dorian. I just thought it'd be funny. Anyway, it might not go, it might be stupid. But anyway, that's the idea of the army, guys. Super excited. It's just going to be fun. You know, I'm going to paint some stuff up. I'm definitely going to be painting some orcs for the next couple of weeks, throwing them up here. I've got another squad of boys, a squad of knobs, a couple of characters, and a death dread. And I probably want to get that painted up fairly quickly because that'll be 500 points for patrol, which will be awesome. Some of you might be thinking, are you not doing the Great Mordian Restoration Project anymore? Absolutely not. I am definitely continuing with the Great Mordian Restoration Project. This is simply a little thing to stop me from getting burned out, because at the I did like half a platoon in a month, or you know, a month and a half, which was quite an intense amount of painting for a short time. And but what that allowed me to do, I did that last thrust. And what it's allowed me to do with the Mornings, guys, is I've got to the point now where I don't need to run any Borgrins, I don't need to run any Ogrins, and I have 230 infantry that I can throw down. Is it super efficient? No, but I can throw those 230 infantry, pure infantry, onto the battlefield and just run a really, really nice looking pure infantry Mordian army. So the pressure is slightly off there now. I'm no longer having to fill things in. It's still inefficient. There's still priests and stuff running around. But it does mean that I am at a point where for battle report's sake, for visual sake, I can run the pure infantry style. So the pressure's off slightly. The plan is probably to get these orcs painted up. That'll be 500 points. And then go back to the Mordians for a bit. But I'm not going to put so much of a structure around it now. I'm going to embrace my inner orc a little bit and just paint each week, just for a little bit, just go into a bit of a laissez-faire, bit of a free-for-all. I'm just going to paint each week what I feel like painting, because I'm at this point now where it's like, with my guard, there's nothing that needs painting urgently. And with my bolt action, for example, I've just had the second wave of my bolt action come in, extra infantry, extra tank, extra observers and stuff like that, extra characters. But none of it is needed. I have 1,000 points of bolt action. This is what I've got that's arrived as reinforcements is kind of like to make it a bit more efficient, a bit more competitive. I don't need to do it. So the point is that I'm kind of in this enviable position where it's like I can pick and choose what projects I want. The orcs are just for fun. The secret project's just kind of ongoing, but it's kind of a battle report army. And if I can't do any battle reports for the foreseeable future, then not ones with other players, then not with other players, with people like Johnny and Sion James and all this kind of stuff, then I might as well put that on hold for a second and just paint stuff that I enjoy. So that's the plan, guys. We're just going to throw some stuff up. There's a few Genes Difficult models I need to throw in there as well. So who knows? We'll just paint. If I wake up in the morning and I feel like painting Orcs, I'll do it. If I feel like painting Mordians, I'll do it. I'm just gonna paint whatever I feel like. And try and keep to cohesive units, but we'll see how it goes. But definitely going to focus on the Orcs for the next week or so, just because they were present, and I've already, I've made the mistake in the past where I'm like, oh, I'll get round to that when I do it, because I'm working on something else. But then it kind of is a bit of a slap in the face to the person that's bought it for you. So definitely going to focus on getting my Orcs done first, because I'm excited about them and I want to ride the Orky momentum forward. Anyway, guys, that'll do. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the Orcs. Any great World War II names, Orky names that you can come up with. Don't necessarily have to be German. They can be anything that you think is fitting for the army. Any ideas you could think for maybe making them a bit more, World War II Orc with the Blitz-War, anything like that. Really appreciate it. Please let me know down in the comment section below. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.